Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, with my co host on the other side, Cantu. Happy hump day, my man. How's it going?
It's doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
Good. We'll talk about this series here in a minute. NBA playoffs are about to start. NHL Western Conference Finals, too. I'm a Dallas Stars fan, I will have to say. Until Houston gets an actual hockey team, I'm going to have to say I got to go with the Dallas Stars.
Actually, been to a Stars game. Pretty nice atmosphere. I like it.
Yeah, that's the only probably Dallas team I would like to cheer for. But other than that, I mean, Dallas Stars and NBA playoffs. I got the Minnesota Timberwolves winning this series, going to the NBA Finals.
Did you see the Stars and the Maverick schedules? Like they play every day. They just alternate days.
Yeah, it's like I think it's Mavs tonight, Stars tomorrow,
Yeah.
Mavs the next night, and then it just all like you're saying, it
Okay.
just basically alternates. That's pretty cool. If you're
That's
a
pretty
sports
cool.
if you're a sports fan in the DFW area or even in Arlington, I guess you can count that as. But anyway, episode 181, Astros dropped the Halo. Obviously, the Astros dropped the series finale against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But it was a good homestand, I guess you could say, for the Astros, considering last year, they had their struggles at home. This homestand, Angels 7-3. I think that's a good old pat on the back for the Astros and for fans of the Astros, if you're going to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the Astros really wanted the series just because they put themselves in a huge hole, and that was their motto after you know the past few days, win every series, and they had the chance. Uh, that game one could have easily been a win for the Astros as well. This game too, they had many opportunities with runners scoring positions. Kind of the same old story there, right? Not bringing those runners in, but for the most part, Astros look pretty good. Like you said, at home, it's just a tough break. Something that's baseball, but I'm sure, I'm sure tomorrow they're not even thinking about baseball. They're getting ready to have a breather on because they've been playing baseball a lot of days consecutively. So having that day off is to be, I'm sure, relaxing for them, and they're going to be ready to get to the next series.
Yeah, I don't even think they're going to have another day off until after the St. Louis Cardinals come to Minute Maid Park, and then after that series, they'll have a day off. But yeah, it's a well-needed day off for those guys, mentally, physically as well. This game, you're playing 162 games in a season. That's a long toll. But the record right now, 22-28. I think that series was very winnable for the Astros. Possibly another sweep. I feel like we've been testifying about that along the podcast episodes, but it's true. Teams like this without having Mike Trout for the Angels, Anthony Rendon, who was starting the season pretty well for them. They don't have Shohei Ohtani as well. You would think that the Astros would win this series or possibly sweep the series against the Los Angeles Angels.
Absolutely.
But we do have a jam-packed episode like Angel always talks about. We'll talk about the recap against the Angels. Framber Valdez as well. We'll talk about that outing against the Angels in game one, which that game could have gone either way for the Astros, but obviously it did take game one as an L. Who's invited to the Carne Asada? Pitching preview against the Oakland Athletics. News from the train station, and of course, a little bit of going around the horn. Another City Connect jersey did drop, so we'll have our thoughts and our opinions on the new jersey popped off. But Angel, before we get started, let them know.
Absolutely. First, before I say what a shout is out, it was a really great showing for the Jeremy Pena bobblehead.
Yep.
We did up our subscribers, so let's keep that train moving. I think we went up to 134 subscribers. Just increase that. So follow us on Twitter so you can get like the news on any more giveaways that we might give. Instagram, TikTok. Lorenzo's been putting in work on TikTok, pushing some really great videos. Go check those out as well. Just wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, we are there. And thank you for listening.
Yeah, like Angel said, we got the best coverage for the Astros. Obviously, being able to do these interviews with these guys, being able to write about these guys, it's really special. So we're thankful for that. But yeah, like Angel said, make sure you look at the content that we're putting up as well as the articles. You could go find that at areskina.com. But let's start it off. Recap of the Angel series. Angel and Kyle Tucker. This guy, King Tuck, is just continuing to demolish the ball. 3 for 10 in this series, has 300 batting average, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 4 walks. He leads the league in home runs right now, Obviously, Gunnar Henderson is behind him with 16. Haven't gotten any word if Gunnar has passed him, so Kyle Tucker
I,
does still lead with
I just
17. But
I just checked. He didn't hit a home run today, so he's still at 16.
okay, so Kyle Tucker still leads the league in home runs, 17, and he leads the league in walks. I mean, the eye at the plate's been looking great for King Tuck. He leads the league with 41 walks, and as well, we'll take away from Major League Baseball. Let's move on to the American League OPS. 1.060, 1060 OPS for Tucker,
That's
slugging
elite.
the 638, and on base percentage is 422. He is leading those categories in the American League. We'll talk about on the train station later on about an extension talk about him. But Angel, I mean, talk to me real quick about what Kyle Tucker's been doing, not just during the season and not just during this homestand, but overall for this team.
I think he's been like this, what is the table setter for that. I'm in that two spot. You like again have I preached it before. The two spots usually for your best hitter, and that is Kyle Tucker. So I think that's his permanent spot for right now. But he's been the best hitter for the Astros. Kind of carried the team on his back. Honestly, if you think about it, there's been times where the Astros need to tie the game or get some runs on the board, and Kyle Tucker has been there to provide all of that. So you know, I think he's what third in MVP voting right now. Like
As of Major League Baseball, they had voted, and MLB Network had put it out there. He's second behind Juan Soto. It's Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker, Gunnar Henderson, Aaron Judge, and then Bobby Wood Jr.
yeah, I mean tight race. Like all those guys are elite, and having Kyle Tucker's name in there is just pretty remarkable.
Yeah, right now, Jose Altuve is 1 for 14 in that series against the Athletics. So, yeah, Kyle Tucker has done a lot to kind of provide and help out in that 1-2 spot. And he's done a great job in that spot as well. I remember, we talked about maybe moving him down to the 3 or 4 spot to get that RBI production, having runners on and being able to bring them in. But Kyle Tucker's been doing good in that 2 hole. I would not move him until something drastically happens, which as of right now, he's just going up and not going down.
Absolutely.
But speaking of another guy that's going up and going down all the time, it's Hunter Brown. I mean, this last start against the Oakland Athletics, this has to be one of the best starts or the best start this season that he has pitched as a starter. 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Unfortunately, Paris did hit a fastball that was right down the middle. Kid you not, that four-seamer was just flat on a 3-2 count, and obviously that gave the Angels the lead, and that gave the Angels the win as well. I mean, they only scored 3 runs, or not 3 runs. They scored 2 runs, and they only had 3 hits in game 3 of that series, and that was able to give them the win. But talk to me real quick. You did talk about Kyle Tucker. Tell me about Hunter Brown. I mean, because we've talked about him maybe needing to go into that bullpen relief role, but looking at this start right here, you're kind of like thinking, okay, maybe another start. Confidence level wise, I mean, what do you think about it?
I mean, confidence level wise, I mean, this is a great outing. Like whenever you can do that to any major league team, it doesn't matter who the other side of the opponent are, because again, they're still major league hitters. It goes a long way, but I still think the bullpen row is in the future for Hunter Brown. I mean, yes, it's a great start to have, but you also have Blanco coming back mixed with some off days here and there. So I think he will go in the bullpen. But it was a really, really great outing. So I think the tell of this outing, if we look at the second at bat of the game, kind of what we harped on when we talk about Hunter Brown is making good pitches when he's up in the count, right? So, deceiving the hitter. So when he faced Luis Renfroe, he was in a 1-2 count, threw a curveball that was straight to the ground, like non-contested breaking ball. And then what he do, dotted up a changeup right in the corner. So, tell of Hunter Brown, right? When he's on, he can dot it up and get the strikeout. But when he's struggling, it's those easy layoffs for the hitter because they're not highly located. Like he did miss a little high with the fastball, always a dirt in the breaking ball, but he looked better. Just getting those situational pitches out, to get batters out. I think that's what he struggled on. He did that a little bit better this time around.
Yeah, this is his second quality start of the season. The first one came against the Atlanta Braves, which that is a very tough lineup. But as of right now, they're not playing great baseball, Los Bravos. But who is starting to pitch really well in the bullpen is Mr. Josh Hader himself. Josh Hader only pitched 2 innings in this series, 2 innings, no hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. In May right now, in 7 appearances, he has a 2-1 record with a 96 ERA, 0.96. Through them 7 appearances, 9 and a third, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 14 strikeouts. The opponent batting average right there is 0.67, and he has a 42.4 strikeout percentage. And right now, he is pitching at an all-time level. Of course, you got to forget about the March. You got to forget about the April. As of right now in May, he's starting to look like the pitcher that the Astros are trying to go for, one of the best relief pitchers in the free agent market this past season. And when you need him to go 2 innings, I think he's dialed in and he's like, you know what? If you need me to go 2, I'll go 2. And sure enough, he did that against the Angels in Game 2 of this series. And sure enough, he picked up the win, getting that record of 2-1.
How many games has he pitched more than 2 innings this year?
I want to say 4, and then I should have researched that. I didn't get.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, but I mean, as when Angels looking at that right now, I mean, the way he's pitching, I think that's what they needed so much. Of course, we talked about the back end struggling and Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader. Coming this summer, I'm expecting them to buckle down and be that unstoppable back end that the Astros and Major League Baseball have been looking for this season. And Brian Abreu has looked a little off, but he's done better. Ryan Presley as well. But Josh Hader is being the biggest one, being able to close out games and get the save. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, so you're right. He's gone 4 games where he's pitched more than an inning. So it's only his third time going 2 innings, and then he pitched an inning in the third against the Yankees as well. So 4 times.
Yeah, like I said, he's answered the call whenever he needs to go for another inning, and I think he's been verbal and expressed about it multiple times. So it's a good part on that end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that slider's been pretty nasty. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you saw him pitch the game, but that's pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's looking better. It's not flat. It's not in the middle of the hard part of the plate, and it's actually making hitters chase or just fooling them at this point. But the biggest storyline of this series was Framber Valdez. I mean, he was pitching really well for them, was cruising with a 6-1 lead going into the 5th inning, Angel. And before the 5th, I want to give you these stats real quick. His stat line was 4 hits, only 1 earned run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He had 7 ground outs, one of them being a double play. So the game plan was working throughout the whole time. Reminding y'all, Yainer Diaz was calling the game at this point. Next thing you know, Valdez started calling his own game. He started shaking off some of Diaz's pitches. And then Valdez gave up 3 home runs. He gave up 7 earned runs in 1 inning, the most he's allowed in any single start. And the stat line at the end of the day, 5 innings, 10 hits, 8 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. That is a huge difference from going 1 through 4 and then pitching that 1 inning in the 5th. It just looked drastic after that.
Yeah. Completely different person.
Very different. So after the game, of course, the media went to talk to, what happened to this outing from him. Was it just mechanics? Was he just, losing stuff? So yeah, per Chandler Rome, Joe Espada, Framber Valdez, and Yainer Diaz all said that Valdez went away from the game plan in the 7-run 5th inning. This is a quote from Framber Valdez. He said, Yainer did a really good job calling pitches. I was the one that decided to try and change the game plan. I had to deal with the consequences. And then Yainer Diaz, after that, this is what he had to say. He said, I can try to force him to throw a certain pitch, but he knows how he feels and how his pitches feel. He makes the decision. This is the first time this has happened, but maybe me as a catcher, I should have forced him more to throw certain pitches. Dana Brown talked to the Sean Salisbury show on Sports Talk 790 this morning about the subject. He said, quote, it's already been addressed. We don't wait around. Pitchers and hitters both get off script, but it's a part of the game and we have to learn from it. Obviously, that game came back and kind of haunt the Astros because if Framber Valdez continues on with the game plan, that's game 1 and 2 right there. You win the series. You have a possible game 3 to sweep and go happy with a 9-1 record in the homestand. But it haunted them, and then obviously they dropped the series. I'll let you go first. So give me your thoughts about the comments, about the situations from both Framber's and Yainer's comments and, in that situation.
Well, first, I want to give a shout out to Yainer Diaz for calling a really great game. I think if that game plan would have been followed, it could have been a little bit more the same. But again, this is 100% on Framber Valdez. I'm just thinking about last year. how many times did Framber Valdez shake off Martin Maldonado? Probably none.
Probably yeah.
Like if not, maybe a handful of times, if any, right?
Hmm.
If any. I think this is more of Fram. Like I don't want to say Framber Valdez's like personality, but more of his like kind of like growing up to like giving Yanni Diaz the trust he deserves, the respect he deserves, because Yanni Diaz has been doing an amazing job calling games even since last year. And last year he was 2 outs away from calling a no hitter as well,
I mean, he
like
caught a
catching
no
it right.
hitter this year.
Exactly, caught a no hitter this year. You don't see Ronald Blanco shake off Yanner Diaz a lot, and he's having a pretty good success. And I mean, I just don't know what happened. I think this was more of just Framber Valdez is like not character, but I kind of lost the word. Just not just trying to do his own thing, right? Trying to rely too much on his pitches and not the effective like changing it up. I'm sure he threw like the same pitches that worked for him last time, right? So I don't know. It's just kind of like this shouldn't happen. And the way that Dana Brown spoke, it's already been addressed. I'm sure they were all ticked off. I'm sure Joe Espada was ticked off. I'm sure Dana Brown was ticked off. We could even say Yanni Diaz was ticked off because now this kind of throws like this just basically shows that he has no control over his pitching staff. We could even say that, right?
Hmm.
So it's just a lot. Like I feel like Framber Valdez created a lot of unnecessary drama for the Astros, unnecessary attention that this struggling team doesn't need, and just because you kind of want to put like your ego or like not trust your teammates, kind of puts you in a bad spot. In that part is what I'm is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, think about it too. I mean, do you see Justin Verlander shaking off? I'm pretty sure he does maybe shake off a pitch or two for Yonder Diaz.
Yeah,
But I mean, being the veteran that he is, I'm pretty sure he does talk to him in the dugout after the inning and discusses the possibility of going out for an extra inning. What hitters are we going to, the matchups? What are we looking at? Are we looking first pitch fastball? We're looking first pitch off speed. All that thing come into play. The one thing I just don't like what Framber Valdez had said in that quote is I had to deal with the consequences. Yes, you have to deal with the consequences, but it's just not you. It's the whole team, the
yeah.
whole coaching staff, the whole organization, the fans. They get their 6-1 lead. They're thinking, man, we're in cruise control. Astros are going to win. It's going to be a great day going home on the way back. And then obviously that happens. And now fans are like, oh, well, shit, I'm going back home sad. It sucks that the Astros had a 6-1 lead and they couldn't get it done. But Yonder Diaz as the catcher, obviously, like you were saying with Maldonado last year with the Framber Valdez, he knows him any better. Just like this year, Yonder Diaz being a first-year catcher, I think, yeah, I don't think he was intimidated. I don't like to use that word, but maybe he's like he was saying, like how he knows how he feels
Timid,
and
timid.
timid. Yeah, maybe that's the best word. He knows how he feels and how his pitches feel. He makes the decision. At that point, if you see that first home run go, and then especially the second home run, if I'm the catcher, I'm going out there and I'm saying like, hey, okay, your plan is not working right now. Quit shaking off. We had these matchups, we had the pitch selection that we wanted against these guys. Let's go back to the original game plan and let's continue on building off what we were doing in the beginning of this game. And from there, I mean, it's a sour taste from not just a pitcher, but being the battery that they are, the pitcher and
Mm-hmm.
the catcher. It's like in Yonder Diaz shoes. I'm not speaking for him, but I was like, okay, well, shit, you don't trust me for the pitches I'm giving you. Do you not see the game plan that's working? Do you just not see the execution that we're making? It sucks. It does suck, but at the end of the day, like Dana Brown said, it's already been squished. Let's move on to the present, not in the past. Forget about it, and let's move forward.
Um, it'll be interesting to see who catches Yanni. I mean, Framber Valdez's next start. Is it you go back to Yanni Diaz? I mean, it was working. Like whatever they're working on, it was working. Or do you do Victor Carantini? That'll be something to keep your eye on as well. But
Well,
again,
Victor Caratini too has been catching Framber Valdez's outings.
yeah, no,
He's
yeah,
been, I think, in the last four
good
games,
switch.
and yeah, and Framber's last four starts, it's been two Yiner, two Caratini.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
I feel like this year there's not really any personal catchers. It's more like
whoever's
whoever
hot at the
fits.
right time, or
Yeah,
yeah, even that the offensive standpoint comes to play too, because Yonder Diaz is bad, has been kind of a little shaky in some of the series.
no, yeah, but I don't know. I think this was a bad look for Framber Valdez. Uh, like really bad luck. But honestly, if he goes off script and it's working, no biggie, right?
Hmm.
But like you said, you have to know what the limit is, right? Like you said, you go for okay, first time you go off script didn't work, don't do it. Like, and I'm not and I'm not saying Framber Valdez shouldn't shake up your ideas at all times because it's like you see it a lot. Like you see
Hmm.
it maybe once or twice a game. You know, the pitcher doesn't like it. Again, like he's like he knows how he's feeling, but I think there was a video of something like he shook up Yanni Diaz like 2-3 times
Three
consecutively.
times.
Like
Hmm.
that's at that point you call time, talk it out, see what the game plan is, right? But that's just not again that's
That's the
not a
thing.
good look.
I feel like with Yiner Diaz too, he's been not going out there to the pitchers a lot. Like four
Well,
consecutive balls, five consecutive balls. There's been times that, and I've talked to you about this. There's been times that he has not gone out to talk to the pitcher to, conversate with him to get back in the same groove of things and trying to figure out, how we're going to attack this hitter, how we're going to get out of this inning.
it could also be because of the mound visit limit. I mean,
Which is, yeah,
you
I
know,
understand that. I understand that, but at the same time, break down that inning real quick. Willie Calhoun singled, Zach Neto walked, Parrish struck out. Then that's when Shono hit that home run, that 3-run shot. Renjifo,
at
who's been
that
a
point you stop.
after the
Like
Shono home run.
yeah, when you go
Okay,
back to what was working. Yeah,
okay, because after that, Renjifo grounds out, Taylor Ward singles, Kevin Pillar singles, and then Logan O'Hoppe hits a home run, and then Joe Adele went back to back, hitting a home run as well. I
yeah.
think for me, if you like you were saying with the Shono home run, I would have gone in the first single after Taylor Ward. After Taylor Ward hit that single, I'm going out there and talking to him because he did get a ground out on Renjifo, but maybe it was a hard ground out. Maybe it was a one that was in the hole. I didn't get to see in
I
that
didn't see
part,
it.
but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah. So
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like you said, it's like the past, it's squished. Just
present.
see how they move forward from now on. It'll be again interesting to see who's that. But let's move on to more of a more exciting note. It's Carne Asada time. What's the song? What's the song?
I don't get a song today.
Dang it! You know what? I'm gonna start being prepared with a song. I got you.
Do we want rap?
Let's do a little cumbia. Let's do that.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get in. I'm gonna get a find a song.
All right,
Go
but
ahead.
let me go ahead and. Oh, you know what? I'll go ahead and like start it, and after I'll put the song.
Okay.
So let's start with who's bringing it to me. That's gonna be Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker, 3 for 10, 2 home runs, which was I believe his fourth multi home run of the year. 4 walks, 2 stolen bases, and just to give you a glimpse of that 30-30 watch, 17 home runs, 9 stolen bases, and he has yet to be caught stealing when he steals as well. So I mean, it's looking very promising if you ask me.
Oh
And
yeah.
then
I
we
mean,
have it's
you got me lost. I was like, okay, you're talking to me.
all
No,
good.
but
It's
yeah,
all good.
I already talked about Kyle Tucker in the beginning. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
So next, Jeremy Pena. Again, he walked off that second game, giving the Astros that extra inning lead. He went 4 for 13 this series with 1 RBI and 2 runs. Mauricio Dubon taking the playing time and taking advantage of it. 5 for 7 in this in this series, with a home run, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs. I mean, he couldn't do it single handedly this series. I mean, this past game he tried, but it's a team game. Jordan Alvarez 5 for 12, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, and I'm even gonna put John Singleton into it. That was a big home run. That was a big shot down center field, and the confidence in himself to do a bat flip on a ball down center field. You know
not a
that was
lot
kind
of
of ball.
balls get out. Yeah, not a
Yeah,
lot of balls go to the last one. I would say is probably Jordan Alvarez that I've seen go close to
yeah,
the batter's eye. Well, his went over the batter's eye, but
yeah. That
very
was a little
very
ball.
confident.
That was a little ballsy there, but I mean, I guess you can tell right off the bat that he got it down.
Yeah, Mauricio Dubon, real quick on that. I think it was the RBI double that Jake Myers scored from first to home, and then he tried to take an extra base. I was like, I don't know if you should do that because you're on second, you got no outs. And I forgot to say that for the recap of the Angel series. You got to tip your cap to Tyler Anderson. I mean, we said that changeup was
Changeup
going to be
was,
sick,
yeah.
and sure enough, that changeup was just everywhere. The Astros couldn't figure it out. Something like that, you just tip your cap to him. I mean, he just pitched a hell of a game against them, and yep, you see how that ended in the series finale.
All right, I got the song.
Oh, okay, you got the song.
Yeah, it's just a
All right,
little
go ahead.
Tejano.
Ooh, Emilio.
Emilio. Yeah, tap for
Emilio.
Emilio, man.
The last
Come
name.
on, now.
Give me a second.
Come
it's
on,
it's
now. Come on. Now.
no. I know it's Navaja.
Naveira. Naveira.
La what?
Naveira.
Navaira. See, I thought it was Navera for some reason. I was close.
That's a goat. That's a goated song, though. That's a.
It is. But what's Kyle Tucker bringing? What kind of meat is he bringing? We didn't even get to.
Oh, let's do some carnitas. See, let's do like some.
Carnitas?
No, you know what? No. Didn't someone say last time it was like a chicharrón guy? Let's do some chicharrones.
No, I thought that was Peña.
Oh, that was Peña. Okay, let's do some carnitas.
Yeah, let's. I was gonna say let's do some pescado since he lives right there in Florida.
Ooh, fish fry.
We haven't had a fish in a while. We never said no fishes on this segment yet.
All right, let's do that. No fish fry.
No fish fry. Everybody's bringing tortillas and rice and beans and stuff.
John Singleton bringing the tartar sauce on that one.
The tartar and cocktail sauce. Fucking funny. But let's get the pitching preview out the way. They'll be going against the Oakland Athletics. Obviously, the Astros did see them this past homestand. Oakland right now, 20-30 record. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. And of course, Friday, let's start it off with 8:40 start time. Justin Verlander on the mound for the Astros. 2-2 record, 3.97 ERA. He'll be going against Ross Stripling with a 1.8 record, 5.19 ERA. And JV, the last started against Milwaukee, I was kind of shocked. I mean, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Reminding everybody, he pitched a 40-pitch inning in the 5th inning that Joe Spada took him out when Blake Perkins, he had pitched 10 plus pitches against him. And then the 13 pitches against William Contreras when Contreras, it was a 2-run or 3-run shot against him, I want to say. 3-run shot. Yeah. So obviously that took him out of the game. But career versus Oakland and a Houston Astros uniform for him. 6-2 record, 2.69 ERA with 92 strikeouts. Last year against Oakland, though, was not that type of stat. He was 7 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. That is one of the losses that came to him in that game. But some history on that note, needs 4 strikeouts to move to 10th place and pass Greg Maddux on the all-time strikeouts list, which is very possible. We've already seen a bounce-back game, Angel, from him, from the Yankees to the Tigers. Can he do it again against, obviously being the Milwaukee Brewers to the Oakland Athletics?
Absolutely, I think so. I think that's just a great hitting Milwaukee Brewers team. Like, they're in first place for a reason, and those at bats by Contreras, I think it was Blake Perkins too.
Blake Perkins.
Yeah, Blake Perkins. Those were just phenomenal at bats. You had to tip your cap to the opposition on that point. They had a game plan. They executed what they had to do, and they didn't let Justin Verlander finish 5. But I think that 40 pitch innings and like an anomaly for Justin Verlander. I don't think it happens again. I think I'm not gonna say cruise control, but I think he does bounce back. And I'm also predicting that he goes 6 strikeouts, so passes Greg Maddux.
Okay, you got the strikeout to go the innings. I think he'll go 7 innings for a bullpen that's been used a lot in this series against the Angels.
Yeah, I mean they do get a day off, so that's always a plus. But yeah, whenever you can go,
that's the extra plus.
Yeah, actually.
But Ross Stripling, real quick, his last start against Kansas City, 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He did face the Astros. All these pitchers that I'm about to talk about faced the Astros in the homestand in Houston. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. I'm not going to go into deep detail what he throws and all that. Just catch it on the last 2 previous episodes on the preview against Oakland. But Saturday, 3:07 start time. We're talking about Spencer Arrighetti going on the mound for the Astros, 2-4 record with a 7.16 ERA. He'll be going against JP Sears with a 3.3 record, 3.41 ERA. And Spaghetti Arrighetti Last start versus Milwaukee was a really good one. Well, the stat line 6 and a third, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Don't pay attention to that because he did pitch a great, solid game. Even though, like I said, the stats are like that, especially the 4 earned runs. He walked out of the game with 1 earned run, but with the bases loaded. Brian Abreu couldn't get out of the inning really strong enough for him to not give up them runs. But I will say he's continuing, and we talked about it before, continuing to move along, continuing to learn and get better as a starting pitcher in the MLB era. Last start versus Oakland, though, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. First major league win. That is a very memorable one for a rookie. But I will say this: best believe Oakland is going to make an adjustment. But not just that, Spencer Arrighetti as well is going to make an adjustment himself.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting matchup to see just how he does adjust, right? I'm sure, like maybe in the past they had a limited like playbook on him, but now they've seen his stuff. They have recordings, like these iPads of pitch movement. They got to kind of feel for him. So being able to mix up your pitch as well is going to be a really crucial for this. And if he can do that, he might be able to finish the season on a good note.
Yeah, he possibly could get his third win of the season, and 2 of them will be against Oakland.
Yep.
Be interesting. JP Sears, on the other hand, last start against the Kansas City Royals, 4 and a third, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Against the Astros, I think he did pretty good. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. And he is a lefty. And the lefty specialist, I know one of them that loves to hit at the Oakland Coliseum is Yordan Alvarez. Every time Yordan steps into the box at Ricky Henderson Field, he is always looking to go to the second deck over there in right field. Always. I kid you not. So am I predicting a home run for Yordan Alvarez in this series? Yes, I am. I do see the over, on the over-under, just half a home run. I'm picking the over, and he's going to get a home run, I think, in this series.
You know what? As you do the next person preview, I'm going to look at see how what are his stats at Ricky Henderson Field.
All right, let's do it. Sunday, 3:07 start time as well. Ronel Blanco is back for the Houston Astros, 4-0 record, 2.09 ERA. He'll be going against Aaron Brooks with the 0-1 record, 4.15 ERA. And the last start against the Oakland Athletics was the day that he got suspended. Well, not really suspended, but ejected. And the series he was suspended. Last start versus Oakland, 3 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Like I said, heading into the 4th inning, everything looked good until the umpires did the whole checking of the glove, foreign substance stuff. He did pitch a bullpen in Houston during that time. He was able to do that. He was not allowed to be in the clubhouse or in the dugout during the games, but was able to get his work in prior to game time. But did pitch a bullpen, like I said. He did give up home runs to Greg Kessinger and Trey Cabbage in his live bullpen session. Angel, are you a little worried about Blanco's starts since he hasn't pitched in 11 days? Or, I mean, what are you thinking of the prediction of Blanco returning to the mound?
No, again, I'm not that worried at all. I'm sure he's pitched, he pitched a bullpen. I'm sure he's staying sharp. We're working on his mechanics. He could even be better, right? He can be better because when he pitched that bullpen, I'm sure he was working on something, not just throwing his arm out there, right? So maybe they saw some mechanics he could fix to be even more efficient. So, and then it's a good, again, nothing bad about Oakland. They're a great hitting team, good major league team, but they're struggling right now. So that's a pretty good matchup for him to being able to come back to a team that's kind of struggling there. Pitching well could give you a really boost of confidence there. But I do have Yordan Alvarez's stats, and you're right. He does like hitting in Oakland because he besides Minute Maid Park, obviously it's the third most park he's hit most home runs in. The only 2 ballparks that he has more home runs is Globe Life Field and Yankee Stadium, which makes sense because this Yankees Astros and the Texas Astros kind of rivalry. But he has 25 hits in the Oakland Coliseum, 7 doubles, 8 home runs, 22 RBIs, and it's batting .269 there. So pretty good numbers.
Nice, fairly nice. But that's what I was thinking with Blanco. I mean, do you think it's going to affect him mentally? Being able to get back on that mound, and then not saying he has a target on his back, but they're going to keep close attention since he already did have that foreign substance check.
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like in his mind he didn't do anything wrong. I'm sure the Astros believe he didn't do anything wrong. So I'm sure he's going to be more of his game there.
Yeah, and that'd be a good game to pick up because the Oakland Athletics have been playing a lot of baseball consecutively, and they're having to play two more games tonight, with one being the Colorado Rockies, and then Thursday they'll finish the Rocky series, and then obviously they welcome the Astros into town. But Aaron Brooks, on the other hand, we had talked about the last time, he hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball since 2022. And obviously now he has two starts under his belt in 24. Last start versus the Colorado Rockies, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. His first start this season and the last start against Houston, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So looking at them stats right there, the longevity of this guy sounds pretty remarkable. 7 innings and 6 innings. I think that's pretty big for the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, I'm sure you see more of the same against the Astros too. So I'm sure they're gonna stretch him out. But out of all these series, like out of all these games, the Astros have to make sure they are winning because Mason Miller and that back end of the bullpen is
That
lights
kid
out.
is that kid is special, man.
Lights
That
out.
kid is like, yeah, special. 100 percentile on a bunch of categories on Statcast. If you go check that out, ladies and gentlemen, a bunch
So
of categories are 100 percentile.
keys to the game for the Astros: score early and score often because you don't want to be trailing when Mason Miller steps in.
Yeah, because they're more than likely, I'm putting 90%, 90, not even 90, 98% of the time, if Mason Miller's pitching against the Astros, there's going to be a zero in the ninth.
Yeah, I mean not just the Astros, any team in
Any team,
really. Yeah, nasty.
but
But you ready for the train station or not? You still got some business? Did you want to add
no, I
something?
mean this series though, real quick. I mean I think the Astros really have to take care of this series, win the
Mm-hmm.
series at least. This is a very easable series for them to sweep because after this they got the first place Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, and then they've gained some ground, but then they kind of lost it by losing this series against the
Five and a
Angels.
half games back as well.
Yeah, I think they were at a point where they were 4 games back, right? So
Mhm.
now it's just again, like you said, take care of the series. Make sure the Astros win it, so they can gain that ground because honestly, if they can be at 4 games behind when they go into Seattle,
It's
they'll
going to
be,
look very promising for them.
if they win that series, yeah,
And it's a
absolutely.
4 game series as well against the Seattle Mariners.
There you go. Even have a chance to be tied. Yeah, again, it all happens if it plays into their hand, but this will be two back to back series that are really crucial for them. But let's move on to the train station because they have some guys that are out that could be crucial for the Astros and to get them where they want to be. And I start with Jose Urquidy. Like this will be his third rehab start, and like we told you in the first place about 2-3. I believe this might be his last one just because about the information I'm about to tell you. He will start Friday game in AAA Sugarland. His pitch count targets be 80 pitches. That right there tells me this might be the last one because if you look back at the return, Justin Verlander, his pitch count was about 80, 85 pitches. Christian Javier, when he returned, about 80, 85 pitches. So this might be his last start, just to give him some innings in. I think coming back from an arm injury like Jose Urquidy, you want to give him as much rehab starts as you can before putting him into major league against major league hitters. And I think doing this last rehab start will be beneficial for him.
It's going to be
Like,
very important.
do you think? Do you think he needs one more, or or you're on board? This is the last one too.
I think I'm on board. It's his last one, but it just depends on his outing. If he goes
Yeah.
80 pitches of, I mean, we've talked about it of not looking at the stats and against, even though they're in the minors, but if he's at 70, 75 pitches, I mean, I think there's a possibility that they'll probably bring him up. But if he's at 60 pitches, which for some reason he comes out, then more than likely I wouldn't be surprised that they'll hold him for another rehab start. Like we talked
Yeah.
about before, I think you
Mhm.
just don't want to rush somebody to come back. Like I felt like we talked about that Christian Javier first rehab start, and then he returned back. I think just taking your time and being able to recuperate and be able to get ready for the MLB when you come back.
I think it's be more about how he feels. Like if he,
Control and command.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then also health wise, right? How he feels coming out of that outing. If his arm feels great, yeah, I'm sure he'll be right back in Houston or or whatever down the road. But if he has a little pinch, little ache, then again, like you said, don't rush him back. It might be a little wary on that end, but so far looking promising for Jose Urquidy. And another Jose trying to make a comeback, Jose Abreu, in 4 games in the FCL. Abreu is batting 333 with 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and 2 strikeouts. Now this has been the talk of the town for Astros management, Astros fans, media as well. Is what's going to happen with Jose Abreu, and we got some updates for you there. On the Shane Salisbury show on Sports Talk 790, Astros general manager Dana Brown had talked on Jose Abreu returning. We kind of talked about that last podcast where he's eyeing a return. Well, here's more information on that. Dana Brown said potentially this weekend or early next week. Timing and load seem to be getting better. Getting right. Better at bats. 2 AAA games, then take it from there. Salisbury then asked about who plays first base when Abreu returns. That's on Joe Spada. That's a Joe Spada question. I'd say right now, John Singleton is our first baseman. Before I continue on with more recent news on Jose Abreu, what are your thoughts on those quotes right there?
I mean, it sounds promising, but I don't think 2 AAA games is gonna, in my eyes at least, I don't think that's ready material for him to get ready to come back to the majors.
I
I
think
would
it's
say
enough.
maybe, that's what I meant to say. Not enough. That's good. I'd maybe say a series, but 2 AAA games, even though he's been at the FGL working at West Palm Beach, getting his timing, getting his swing, the mechanics all, figured out. I just don't think that's enough because you're seeing rookie players, front guys that's signed out of the Dominican, from the Puerto Rican, from Venezuela, the international
Former high
signed players,
schoolers.
former high schoolers, college players as well. They're all over there trying to get themselves together to even get a spot in single A, double A, triple A, all those type of minor league, in the farm system. So for me, I don't think 2 triple A games are enough for him. I think it needs to be a series for him to get, the timing, the swing mechanics, the bat speed, all that correct before he gets to the majors.
I agree with you. So I'm gonna talk more about the first baseman situation. I think as the Astros, this is my 2 cents. I think you have to ride with John Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because that same day when John Singleton hit that monster home run, there was talks about Jose Abreu coming back, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Hold my beer." This is like they're basically saying this is my spot to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's done a phenomenal job. A
Yeah.
leg up on Jose Abreu that he does have is his defense work. I think
It's a good one.
fielders have, again. I'm not in their mind, but I'm just putting myself in their situation, their shoes. I would feel more confident throwing a bad like a one hopper to John Singleton and Jose Abreu. Honestly, again,
As of right now.
as of right now, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they think that. I'm just saying what my 2 cents. How like trying to put myself in their shoes. I think at this point, John Singleton even gives you a little bit more confidence in the lineup. Yes, he only had one hit this series, but he walks. He
He
puts the ball
drives
in
the
play.
count.
Yeah, he tries to count, puts the ball in play. You know, pretty good situational hitter as well. I think around Jones spot, you got it right with the hot hand. I think that is John Singleton's spot to lose. Now, what makes it tricky? And kind of touched on this last time. It's just that track record that Jose Abreu has. You're paying him all that money. He was a starter to begin with. So I think you have to respect Jose Abreu's as a person and kind of like put the numbers behind you for a second. But if the trend continues when they're both there, I think you start playing the one who's going to help you win baseball games. And I think at this point right now, it's John Singleton.
Yeah, I agree. Anthony Rodriguez, que pasó, amigos? How's it going? Yeah, feel free to jump in, throw some comments. What do y'all think on the situation at first base? Do you see John Singleton staying there, like Dana Brown said right now, like what Angel's saying right now too, to testify that? Or do you see Jose Abreu returning back and automatically getting back into first base and playing? But real quick, I got his last 7 games. Angel 6 for 24, home run, 4 RBIs, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's nothing to lose for him. I think he's been doing a fantastic job defensively, specifically because he's digged out a lot of great balls, some hard balls as well. And right now the swing, yeah, there's like the swing and miss rate. Obviously you saw their 5 to 10 ratio of the walks to strikeouts. But at the same time, too, he drives that count up. He will make you work that count. 0-2, he's gonna make you go to 3-2. 0-2, 2-2. He's gonna make you drive that count up. He's gonna make your pitch count go up, and he's gonna just try to get the better of you. And sure enough, that game in game 2 against the Angels, he was able to hit a home run to get the Astros the lead. And look what happened there. That was able to win the series. I'm not win the series, win the game. But I don't think Jose Abreu would kind of be like, okay, I'm back. I expect to be there first. Nah, I think Jose Abreu at the end of the day just wants to help the team win. As of right now, it's looking like John Singleton to me and to you. I guess I could speak for yourself. Is going to be holding down that first base position until something
until
dramatically happens.
he slips. Honestly, that's really it. Like to it is. It's a long season. If
Mhm.
John Singleton's in a brutal slump, then you give Jose Abreu a little bit more opportunities, right? Just again because that respect portion. But like you said, as of right now, John Singleton, that's his spot to lose. But just to give you a little bit more recent update on Jose Abreu earlier today, this is per Channel Rome. Jose Abreu will remain in West Palm Beach to play FCO games today and tomorrow before reporting to AAA Sugarland this weekend, Joe Espada said. Again, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I know Dana Brown said it could be this weekend or earlier next week. I think it's gonna be like maybe next weekend. Give it like give him a little bit more at bats in AAA. I think that's gonna give you a better telltale of how he really is
Mhm.
uh, compared to the FCO. Well, so I think that'd be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
And
Timetable,
then
I'd say real quick. Timetable, real quick.
oh,
I'd say the Minnesota Twin series when they
could
return
be,
back.
could be. That's not a bad timetable. And then I would say the man of the hour, Kyle Tucker. So at this point, it's been a conversation. I would say even the last like since last year too, and especially this year, about a Kyle Tucker extension. Here's the latest of what we got. So first of all, Kyle Tucker has been tearing the cover off the ball. Like he's been the man of the hour, right? Again, we kind of touched on this earlier. He's top 3 in American League voting. He's surpassed Gunnar Henderson in home runs with 17. He's on pace to hit 56 home runs. Like I feel like you can go on and
He
on about this guy. Like, really, go ahead.
he even leads the Carne Asadas, I think, now without
I
Ronald
think so
Blanco.
too. And Kyle Tucker's house right now is that party house, that friend that's always hosting, right? So
Nothing wrong with that.
absolutely. And then uh, shout out to the sports talks at night because they've been asking the important questions and they've been putting a lot of work there. Because again, while they were speaking to Dana Brown earlier about Jose Abreu, they also asked about a possible extension to Kyle Tucker. And then this is what Dana Brown had to say. Currently, not talking extension. Again, this is from Dana Brown. We love Kyle Tucker. We have him under contract till 2020, 2025. I talked to his agent during spring training, but right now we aren't in discussion. We'll love him to retire here if possible. He knows he wants to sign here. His agent knows we want to sign him here. At some point, we'll get an offer to him. I mean, I don't know how I feel about those words because it's been the same, kind of the similar words about Alex Bregman, and they have not been close at all to like a contract. Now, I'd say those are two different categories, two different players, two different, standpoints. Because right now, honestly, if you were to pick somebody between Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman, it's an easy answer. It's Kyle Tucker the entire time. Like, there's no debate about it. You have a young outfielder who's it's been in the prime, and now that prime's still there. You get a little bit more production of it. Whereas Alex Bregman's already 31. If history holds true, at that point they start regressing a little bit, right? Like it's not a drastic change, but as those years go on, right, that production starts to dip a little bit. So I think Kyle Tucker is the main focus. I don't want to put too much like on Dana Brown's words. I mean, he's not going to talk bad about it. Like, he's not going to say, "Oh, we're not going to extend Kyle Tucker," right? He's not going to be saying that. It's just, I would say, just take it with a grain of salt. But I'm sure if they have to pick somebody to offer some money, he's going to be the guy. It's just to see years and money because Jim Crane doesn't like to go past 6 years. I think Kyle Tucker, in my personal opinion, would be the guy to break that promise, right? To break that streak, to break that 6 year thing you want to call it, right? I think Jeff Luna had a lot of trust in him when he was here by not trading him. I know he was a pretty good trade bait when the Astros were in contention in 2017. James Click had confidence in Kyle Tucker, even though he at that point there was years when people were saying Kyle Tucker needs to be dropped back to AAA, or like he's probably they should have traded him a long time ago, and then this is the guy the Astros been waiting for, and he's here. He's producing. He's the best player right now for this Astros team. I think you have to pay the man.
Yeah, and then to focus on that, like you were saying, with the regressing of the years, look at the history from the Astros who came through the system and then left. George Springer, Carlos Correa. I mean, Garrett Cole still doing Garrett Cole things. Charlie Moore was doing his thing, but now he's starting to regress. I mean, there's been a bunch of guys that left and they fell off. I mean, we can even talk about pitchers right now. Hector Neris, Ryan Stanek, Phil Maton, they haven't been the same since they left. So there's a risk on that. But Kyle Tucker is that guy. And we've talked about this in the offseason that you need to give $300 million to, because the Astros have never gone a contract over 300 as well. You're talking about the years. Well, I'm going to talk about the money. They have never gone over 300. And I think this is the first guy in Astros franchise history that they need to pay this guy, because we talked about 5-tool man, still the speed, the contact, the power, the glove, the arm. He's already won Gold Glove. He's already won a Silver Slugger. He was close to getting a 30-30. So everything is there. The production is there. The way he's starting this season. Of course, everybody thinks about last year. Last year, Kyle Tucker wasn't performing at the postseason. He was not performing at the all-time high. That's why the arbitration, when it came to that time, he wasn't going to really win, because of the fact that the arbitration hearing was, they were going to talk over about the postseason remarks. But this is the guy that, I mean, you already, if you think about it right now, if you're the Astros, there's a possibility that you're going to lose Alex Bregman. Next guy's up, it's going to be Framber Valdez and Kyle Tucker. And like you were talking about, who are you going to rather have? Not Framber Valdez, Alex Bregman or Kyle Tucker? You already said Kyle Tucker.
We can even throw Framber Valdez in there. Out of all those three,
that's what I was gonna say next. When it comes to them two now, who it is, Framber or Kyle? Obviously, it's gonna be Kyle Tucker. And I think it just helps the offense as well for the next part of the season, because you carry on, Bregman leaves, Altuve's still there. He just had an extension. Yordan Alvarez is still in his extension years. You still got a Javier in his contract. Of course, Lance McCullers Jr. as well, which pretty sure his timetable is going to be in July. But like we talked about at the beginning of the season too, he's been heard every season he signed with that contract. He's still going to be a pillar to the Astros' success if they're going to want to continue this quote-unquote dynasty run, the golden era of Astros baseball. So I think I 100% agree with you. This is the guy that you're going to want to go over 6 years and 300 plus million, because he's going to make your team better.
Sure. And honestly, they got kind of fortunate with the Jose Altuve contract. I think that was a huge discount on that end as well. So, I mean, they saved some money there. I don't think
Yordan Alvarez too, to mention real quick. I mean, that one was like 200, I want to say. 6 years, 200 million.
So, again, you can even say a discount there too, honestly. And then I don't think they pay Framber Valdez. I think kind of the character part costs him a lot of money. Just same situation happened earlier to the series. I think like stuff like that kind of affects him. Go ahead.
6 years, 115 million extension to Yordan Alvarez. That is a steal.
Yeah,
that is a steal.
Very much steal.
That's a steal for the Astros.
So I mean, they have the discount contracts there. It's just a matter of them putting the trigger. I think if you're going to put a trigger for somebody, like you said, this is a guy.
Or a guy like this. It has to be this year. You can't let him walk into free agency for the Astros, I think.
Because everybody was upset about Carlos Correa walking, but that injury, injury history, he was not going to get what he's looking for. Yet I don't think he's still gotten what he's looking for in terms of years. The money's there, right? But in terms
AAV,
of years,
the AAV is there for him.
Yeah, but years-wise, not like you said, George Springer. I think when George Springer, he was a little older when he did hit free agency, and you see that play there. But a young guy like Kyle Tucker, I think you have to sign him.
Yeah, because think about it right now. This coming year, it's going to be Juan Soto.
Now, I do have a little, like if like I'm putting on your spot, and we can kind of table this for next podcast once we have more time to think about it. When Alex Bregman leaves, who's your third baseman?
It just depends on the trade deadline because I don't know what the Astros game plan. They already have the depleted farm system. Let's get that out the way. But as of right now, Pedro Leon is hitting the
Yeah,
ball really well, and
that's
AAA.
that's what. So,
So that could be one guy. Or the other guy that I think that has a great chance of moving out of that utility role is Mauricio Dubon.
hmm.
So those two guys are on my radar if Bregman does decide to walk and leave the Astros. They're the only two
Yeah,
guys I think.
I think you would hit that one there too. Uh, I think Bryce Matthews is still a little too. I think
Still a
needs
little young. He's still
yeah,
developing a little bit more.
yeah. So I don't think maybe it can be the conversation depending how he's doing. But I was gonna say Pedro Leon, like he is a middle infielder, but so was Alex Bregman when he came into the league, and you know adjusting third base shouldn't be too much of an issue. But as of right now, I think Mauricio Dubon, like out of those two. So we got the same guys going there.
Yeah. It'll get closer when we get to trade deadline. It'll give us a little bit clear thought, clear path of what's going to happen, what prospects could be on the move. So yeah, we do
The only
we
thing
do
with
usually do that trade deadline special, two parts.
that is, I think after this year, Pedro Leon's eligible for the Rule 5 drafts. So I think they need to be worried about that and make sure he's on the 40 man roster if he's part of the Astros future.
Yeah, he's really changed this season. I'll say that strikeout rate,
Absolutely.
especially.
Absolutely. But before we let you go, because we're about to hit an hour, let's start with Around the Horn. And I don't know if you saw the St. Louis Cardinals City Connect jerseys. Before I go to any player reactions, what are your thoughts on those?
Mm, I feel like it's a basic St. Louis Cardinals jersey. I'm not gonna lie to you.
As much as I think that the bat with the birds is a historic emblem, I think it's one of the best in Major League Baseball. You
Correct.
had to change it up. Like, you had to change it
I would
up.
have
I don't
liked to
think
seen an arc in the middle of the
see, that would have been pretty. That'd been pretty nice. That's the City Connect right there, right? Kind of
yeah,
like the the Gateway Arch would have been. Is it the Gateway Arch?
yeah. It
Yeah,
is the Gateway Arch.
yeah. The Gateway Arch would have been nice there too. I like that. Or kind
Maybe
of
some
like on the hat too.
maybe some Anheuser Busch beer on there somewhere.
The horses.
The Clydesdales. I think that's what they're called. I want to say
Yeah.
clip clop, clip clop.
I don't know if you saw Mason's Wins reaction when he didn't want to say anything bad about it, but you can see in his face expression that he wasn't a real big fan of the City Connect jersey. So literally, he said when the media guy asked him, he's like, "Well, they're City Connect, all right." That's
Mhm.
that's pretty much it for that conversation.
Yeah.
But I think when you see Julio's Rodriguez glow in the dark bat, that was pretty sick.
Yeah, I just saw it right now. Actually, that I think Players Weekends are going to be really looking forward to for a lot of players. I would say because they haven't done that since I want to say 2019, maybe that was the last time they did Players Weekend in
Yeah.
August. So I think a lot of players are going to have a lot of fun coming this year for that, 3-day weekend or 4-day weekend span.
Absolutely.
I forgot to ask you, okay, because we usually do our top 10, top 5 rankings of the City Connect jerseys. What does this land? Top 5, top 10? What top out of the top 10, maybe top 15?
Well, I mean, I guess they're City Connect jerseys, right? But towards the bottom.
You have like that same Mason win kind of smirk. I agree. I'll go. I don't know how many City Connects there have been now. Dodgers are about to get to their second one pretty soon. I want to say there's probably one. Maybe there has to be a little bit over 15, I would say, or 20.
If the Astros get a second City Connect jersey, how do you think it's looking like?
I don't know. That's a good question. They already did something with Space City. I don't think Bayou City is going to be anything with it. Maybe
Maybe
something with
downtown.
like the slabs.
Could be.
I
Yeah.
think that'd be cool.
Like the rap culture here, he's yeah. I can see that.
Some DJ Scrooston for what you call it to date.
Yeah. I mean, it
I don't
could
have to tell.
be. It might have H Town, I'm sure, this time around.
It'd work. It'll work. Pretty sure it will sell. But that is all for our show for today
Exactly
in
an
this
hour.
series. Exactly an hour. Announcement too, we will not be on for we might be actually on for this coming Mariner series. We'll have to see. We'll keep each other updated. We'll let everybody know as well if we continue for the Mariner series. But if not, we'll let y'all know. But in the day, continue to follow us at Full Steam Ahead on Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you find us on social, we are there, except Facebook. And of course, the podcast platforms, Google, Spotify, Apple. Shout out to everybody on YouTube subscribing to the channel. We went from 103 to 140 subscribers. So shout out to y'all. We really appreciate it. If y'all haven't subscribed, put down and hit that
What are y'all
subscribe
waiting
button, hit
for?
that like button. Exactly. We're giving y'all the best content, giving y'all best on the field access, everything that we can to make ourselves be better ourselves. Till then, Andrew, you got anything else?
No, just thank you for listening and be safe out there.
Yeah. Y'all have a safe and blessed weekend. Enjoyed that rest day on Thursday, just like the Astros. And we'll talk to y'all
And
soon.
Monday.
And Monday. Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial
Day, but it is the Memorial Day weekend. But yeah. Everybody enjoy it. Have safe.